There was a grating discomfort in all of this. She had never been good at being a back-seat passenger. The dynamic was all wrong. Her introduction to this woeful place in the car hierarchy had taken place early in her life. Sitting with a view of the backs of her parents' heads. There was rejection in this positioning. A cold ignorance that made her want to be elsewhere. Right now, she'd rather be anywhere other than here, but the conveyor belt of life compelled her to be exactly where she was, and there was no arguing with it. As a child, her only viable alternative had been to pull the door handle open when the car was stopped in traffic and to run away. To run and run until there was no car and no unfeeling parents who had chosen to turn their backs on her and ignore her in favor of a journey she really was not sure she wanted to undertake. This was much the same. She was under an obligation, and were she not to fulfill it, there would be awkward and unwarranted repercussions which went against the grain of her current plight. She wondered whether braver souls than her had refused. Standing firm in a lack of acceptance of the awful reality of the situation. Turning their backs in defiance at the ridiculousness of a ritual that made absolutely no sense to her. All of this only made it worse. To comply was to accept, and although she could not do that, she climbed into the back of the car in a stony-faced denial of what this all meant. She was here under sufferance. She did not want this. Not the car, and certainly not the suffering. This was about as unfair as it ever got. She was annoyed, and quite frankly, she felt cheated. Worse still, she felt betrayed as those around her went along with the whole charade. But then, it was all very well for them. They didn't have anywhere near as much skin in the game. She was the high roller. This was everything to her. She'd rolled the dice of life, and it turned out there was a face on this particular dice with a big fat 0 on it, and in the center of that 0 was a void that took everything from you. Everything was so much more than a person could ever comprehend. As a child, she was a bundle of clashing uncertainty during the back seat journey. Her parents may have told her that they were going on holiday, but this was an amorphous concept. They spoke with such conviction, but never once stopped to think about how their words landed. She had very little to bring to bear, and all she could do was trust these two Goliaths. But how could she trust the displaced backs of seats and the turgid silence that befell them as they embarked on a mystery journey on the road to nowhere? She remembered the loneliness of the sometimes red-hot vinyl bench seat that translated into an intrusive boredom. Her questions were batted away like bothersome flies. This only made her feel less wanted. Less substantial. Less there. That was how she felt now. Ever so small. The best of her was not here, and this wasn't.